Le sommet international de l'éducation du futur réunit une soixantaine de conférenciers du monde entier. Des pionniers et des innovateurs issus du monde de l'éducation, bien évidemment, mais également des êtres inspirants, issus des chemins de sagesse ou des chemins d'apprentissage et de créativité dans différents domaines. Les arts, les sciences, l'économie, le lien avec la nature, le sport, etc. Des expériences et des chemins de vie qui sont un formidable enrichissement pour le monde de l'éducation. Le professionnalisme des traductions, en simultané, et l'incroyable richesse de toutes ces conférences offrent un horizon de point de vue vaste et varié, très complet, qui en font au final une véritable formation professionnelle pour les enseignants, les éducateurs et tous les professionnels de l'éducation, mais également une formation à la parentalité consciente et une formation individuelle à la vie consciente. Face à toute cette richesse et aux divers retours, nous avons décidé d'offrir toutes ces conférences à tous, partout dans le monde, en français et en anglais, quelquefois en allemand et en espagnol. Découvrez la vision d'acteurs audacieux et influents du changement, vers un monde éthique, solidaire, généreux et profondément respectueux de tous, des cultures, des peuples, des règnes et de la planète. Un incroyable panel de conférences, couvrant toutes les dimensions de l'éducation, pour un futur ayant du sens, une humanité épanouie et une terre qui respire. Une chose est sûre, votre vie, et à travers vous, celle des enfants, ne sera plus la même après avoir écouté toutes ces conférences. Pour avancer, nous avons besoin de vous, nous avons besoin de votre générosité solidaire. L'organisation du sommet et l'édition des conférences ont nécessité des milliers d'heures de travail et nécessitent encore beaucoup de temps et d'investissement. Nous faisons appel aux dons libres et spontanés pour compléter le financement du sommet et, si possible, continuer à l'enrichir de nouvelles conférences. Votre soutien est vraiment précieux et vital pour aller jusqu'au bout de cette aventure extraordinaire. Merci.
So welcome, Aashti. Where are you, by the way? I'm in Portugal. I'm in Portugal. I had a problem with my lorry, and
Donc Aashti,
je vous accueille dans un nouveau lieu.
Aashti, quand on l'invite pour des conférences, un coup elle est en Inde, un coup elle est en France, un coup elle est au Portugal.
So waiting for my lorry to be repaired. So in Portugal. So thank you, Abel, for all your kindness. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the work done on education. It is quite essential. So my sincere thanks. So I know that it's a very rich a piece of work. So I'm glad to welcome you here. Actually, very rich indeed, as you say. But we'll start without any further ado, because Aashti is proposing a whole journey. She will take us through. It's quite a magic. But I also listened to Armel, which was quite interesting, because we were talking how security or how safety, where we need this internal safety for the adult, and that I'm coming back now as ourselves to see whether we can find this security. And this security, you have it, but sometimes you lose it. So in our natural movement of expression, in this momentum of expression, and there is this movement where we're being judged very often, because you have to be like this, you have to be like that, and that's what we still find nowadays. And we wanted to have the momentum. We want to be able to offer something, to build something, and sometimes we draw back, we withdraw, we refrain from doing something because we can't find this internal security. So we're going to look for it through outside external structures, through elements of recognition. And so I would like to make a oops. And that is one of the things that help us to find security. Because I'm going to use the moon as the astrological element. It's talking about this great intimacy. When you feel good with yourself, will you find okay with you're okay with yourself? There's nothing else to look for, nothing to avoid. This space is mine, where I feel at ease, where I feel safe. So that's what I thought. I told myself, as far as education is concerned, that's where, as a child, and it continues with the adults, where it wasn't well fed and where there's still a struggle going on in the identification. So just if you watch the moon, if you look into astrology, I'm trying to draw the context where I'm trusting what I am, and when I'm in full trust, I have the capacity of going to look for my resources, where I can go and somewhere to learn. I feel safe. If not, it's like it is not like, oh, I don't think I'll be capable of doing so. I don't know where to look for. So we're going to go through a journey through the different signs and also draw the context I would like to refer to. It was the work of Golchek. He worked on the alignment of our four bodies: the physical body, the mental body, the energetic body, and the emotional body. So we're invited to line up, because very often these four bodies are linked to the four elements in nature. So I hope you won't be lost. So I'm just giving you the framework. But when I became aware of the work of Golchev, I immediately thought of as follows. It's like astrology. It corresponds to the energetic body, corresponds to Mars. And Golchev, in order to illustrate this, the alignment, it took the horse and cart, and then there's the cart drawn by the horses, and then there's the driver who is controlling the horse, who is sitting in the cart, in the coach, in the chariot, sorry. And so it's the normal carriage. And here we illustrate how
avancent, il y a des chevaux qui avancent pas, il y a des chevaux qui ruent, il y a des chevaux qui sont dociles, il y a toutes sortes.
They're very nice, they're obedient, and a horse, once again, for those who know astrology, is also linked to the planet Mars. Then the cart with the physical body linked to Venus, and the driver is the moon, and the passenger within, it's the master. Here we could say it's the sun. And all this is happening in our bodies. And the moon as the driver, it's the one which is linked with the following: how am I going to keep my horse? How am I going to control my horse? How am I going to listen to the messenger of my master, of my Lord and Master? How am I going to take care of this cart? Are the wheels okay? Is it beautiful? Is it technically okay? Is it modern? Is it ancient? So I have to take care of this physical body. So try and imagine this. So you have this intuition, this listening to two or three worlds, and the link is being made. And it's this particular space inside us where we feel safe, where we feel good, comfortable, and that we're going to arrive safely at our destination. And very often in my work, I would like to put the card. So we need someone who is going to incarnate the moon, someone is going to incarnate Venus. It all depends on the situation. You have cards, of course, which are not aligned, so it's going in just any direction. And I'm going to talk about how the road is followed, how the teachers come in, how the parents come in, and how we can honor our unique way, our singular way of being in the world and stopping judging ourselves. Because it's enormous the number of people I receive and which are totally, well, which are not feeling okay because they're being judged continuously. So are you ready to start? So I don't want to put people in boxes. So you have the moon, if you know where the position of your moon is when you were born. If you don't know, well, then you can look it up. I hope that you did so before. See, my intention is to talk out of the box, not to put people in boxes. So I am a unique person. If not, all my life we'll have to justify ourselves and trying to say what we're not. So that's why we talk about being totally free, etc. So let's start with the sign of fire. Cherche-moi les signes en anglais. So he is very aware of the impact he has on the world when it comes to his family. Nothing is the same anymore. So someone arriving somewhere, it cannot be the same. And so this a sign, this the areas, for instance, the camels, there's things to do. So we'll give a lot of examples, of course, with all the experiences I had. But is the first one who would say, I want to explore how to put things on the camel, how to, and being very enthusiastic. So no, stop being or trying to be first. Just leave some room for the others. But a child who's belonging to the sign of Aries, is full of his fire, is full, very dynamic, and we cannot say that it doesn't leave the room. No. But if you tell him it does no longer where to stand, he cannot position himself any longer. Corinne, can you agree? It is no longer where he can go to. Yes, but the others, they don't want to. How will the others see me, consider me? All this, it creates elements. And also is this thing before doing something, these children are always telling themselves, yes, but what are the others going to think of me? So we have to channel this energy. So I'm taking examples of the camel because how would you like to organize, or can you help the camel, yet you have to do this or that? Then he's going to get a hell of other people, and is not there to take everything away, to take in to fill up the entire room, but is full of enthusiasm, which is different. So we have, so the areas he might be told that he's selfish, that he's only thinking of himself, and that is really hurting him, because no, war for areas. Some people will say, come on, get lost because you want to take in all the space. No, it's natural for him. That's his way. He is in the world. He says, here I am. So a child that says, I'm coming, I'm here. Or look, mommy, look at my drawing. Yeah, okay. But it's, you see this momentum. We also want to show sometimes when we're even adults, and some friends tell me, well, what is just, yeah, no, you want to use or to show your creations, to show your talent. It's in the energy of Aries, and it's not just to tell me. But of course, it's changing. But we always look. Have you seen what I've done? If you see, I did it. I was the first. I already prepared the camels before the others got up. So looking for a kind of recognition, which unfortunately isn't appropriate. So we have to be very careful that areas can make errors. But there's no problem for an Aries to make a mistake, and is hitting his head against the wall. But there's no problem is there a problem for the others perhaps, but not for him. He's going to start again. He said, yes, I learned something at least. Okay, I went too far. And he's going to readjust. And that's how the child is going to learn. But if you don't leave him a chance of starting again, it's very difficult for him to find his resources. So you shouldn't be afraid that a child running up the mountain might break something or whatever. For him, there's no problem because he's growing, he's learning. And you cannot, of course, tell him all the time, okay, don't do this, don't do that, because you will castrate him in his creativity. Is this okay for the Bélier or for the Aries? Is this making sense? Okay, then let's come to Taurus. So we're going back to the Earth. I don't know whether the meeting will be recorded, and I have to take notes, of course, but what I would like that you make this journey inside of you together with me, and that finally we are all in ourselves. And we really are in a profound resonance, and you do whatever you want to do, but as you will have to, you have to take full advantage so that you could go into what I'm telling you. So Taurus, there's the need for security. He says he needs to be respected in his rhythm. My way of clothing or putting on my boots is done in such a way, tying up its laces. No, a Taurus, no, he's not going to do it fast, because this might have some consequences. And so some Tauruses I meet, this time requested, which is needed for him. For him, it's a kind of, for him, it's very important to maintain this particular rhythm. So in order to come to a result, to reach my objective, it's so I need to know that I have my office, that I have my things at school, but I can't tell them, oh, well, I'm going to give it to someone else. I'm going to change places. No, a Taurus would like to say, okay, I'm always coming back to the same place. It's my place. It's my seat. That's why we see Taurus and no, it's my pencil. Very often hear this. It's my game. It's my school book. No, you share it with the other. No. The Taurus should need an area where he feels that it's his game, his voice. It's not making him a selfish person. No, it's not someone we can judge as being possessive. No, not at all. He needs to know that he can refer to his game, to his rhythm, to his pencil, and that he needs this in order to understand things, in order to be open. If not, it's going to block him, and then after to is a Taurus is going to grow. He will try, because we now the Taurus will try to be someone. He's going to do something. He wants to have and then do something so that things can move on. But for him, he needs to do all this at his own pace. And he will never have sufficient time to do all this. Oh, I didn't have time to do it. I didn't have sufficient time. He's always running behind the clock. And at present, the lunar cycles, the moon goes through Taurus. There's the whole dynamism. All these issues will pop up again regarding time or rhythm, and do I give myself sufficient room and to get and to feel safe, though I'm attached to my husband, to my bank account, to my dog, to my child, and so there he feels safe, but is not capable of letting things go. So it started at a very young age, this grabbing, because when I was I'm doing something at my own rhythm, if this is broken, it will be very difficult to fully develop my capacity, and it's very difficult to but it's not at all the Taurus. Whenever the teacher says you have to do it fast, come on, no, he loses contact with the sensuality, but he has to do it at his own pace. Am I very clear on this? So I'm going from the adult to the child and the other way around. So give me a sign if it's not clear. So I could talk more, but here I'm talking about the archetype. There are a lot of ramifications, of course, but you should get an idea of the large or the main archetype. Now let me come to the Gemini. The Gemini is the archetype of the one who is learning. That's where, when we arrive at school, where we say, wow, take our bicycle. Here we can take a bicycle and by ourselves we go to the school, we can make circles, we can write, we can go further. And where we made other children that have other traditions, they don't do the same things as I do. They're not living in the same house as we do. So they are different. And there is, we're doing this, we're doing that, there we can do that. I'm going to learn another thing tomorrow, this. So the Gemini agrees with everything. He wants to learn, he wants to explore, he wants to go for it. They're happy, but it shouldn't last too long. We're not going to put a Gemini child during 5 hours doing the same activity. After 1 hour, that's finished. Okay, let's change. You might say all children are like that. No. Some children like it to think through, but Gemini, no. Okay, what's next? Okay, I did the drawing. What's next, teacher? No, we're going to do something else. And therefore, if we tell them that it's superficial, that's why I hear a lot as being judgment is not thinking through things. So they're not, let's say, made to do one thing during your entire career. They can be selling buildings, they can be getting in real estate, become technicians. After 10 years, they want to change, doctor, whatever. And architect, they want to become a coach. But after 10 years or so, they've had it. But where's the problem? So what? In society, of course, they say, no, that is not done. You change your profile. No, you should stay committed. No, not for a Gemini. No, everything can change. You can explore just anything. Where's the problem? I have a lot of Gemini that say, but how come that I don't continue? I am getting bored. I understand, but you're not made to stay there. But on the other side of the Gemini, you shouldn't state being an expert in tantric relationships. So when 2 days of shamanic initiation, so that's the other side where the Gemini is going to touch upon everything, and he might have the impression of being an expert, or will declare himself as being an expert. So you have to be humble and say, I'm not necessarily an expert, but it doesn't prevent me, of course, of offering what I have to say. So there's the little game of the Gemini saying, I know everything, whereas, as a matter of fact, when you scrape the surface, at least there's an initiation. And then he wonders why it doesn't work always with the therapist. Perhaps you have to go in deeper or try other approaches. The Gemini loves to use the different instruments, techniques, or domains which he explored. And he would like to offer the fact that he's single, that he is unique. It's a choice between this, either nature or natural sciences or just another alignment. It's very difficult for the Gemini to make a choice, very difficult indeed. And okay, this is an archetype, of course, and also some people today suffer more from the difficulty of professional reorientation and to go to other domains. Also the fear of not being capable, the feeling of not being okay, and as I very often say, so perhaps at the age of 85 they will enroll and they will follow another training, another course, and so, but whenever they do so, whenever thinking in this manner, they will say, well, afterwards I'll be able to be much better. And so it's the desire to learn more, to see whether, and when you're small, well, the child learns a lot of things, trying to learn how to bake, but he wants more and more and more to have his place in the world.
So if it rings a bell, you have to trust yourself, and you should also be able to recognize your limits, because the Gemini will understand that, because if he will enjoy a new function, he will learn, because Gemini are here to learn. They don't need to know it beforehand, because for some signs they would need to know it in advance, while the Geminis know. And I remember when I meet people with people who are Gemini, I've always seen that when I met Geminis. Geminis really like to talk, to explain. It's difficult to have them silent. But at the same time, when I met Geminis, I was very happy to see that sometimes nobody was talking. And when I asked that why nobody's speaking, 10 people raised their hand. They were all Gemini. And in general, Gemini people will speak to each other when they meet, and the Gemini don't talk to each other. And so I was feeling odd, and in the end, they told me we were expecting the other to talk. We were waiting to know what we needed to say, and the Gemini will wait, will learn a lot, but will wait in order to act. And so some signs are more sensitive than others about transparency, authenticity. This is the basis of Geminis. Gemini will look at the other and do the same as others do. Oh, for instance, she draw her elephant like this, and they will draw the elephant like that. And so they don't copy, but they are inspired. They are learning, imitating the others. But if they weren't supported when they were children, then it's difficult. When I met Geminis, adults, they were telling me we don't talk because we are waiting for the others to talk in order to know what we need to say. So, as an adult, I had to adapt to him or her. And it's a huge capacity for the Gemini to be mediators, to be able to hear another point of view, to listen to another point of view, but it's also a shortcoming because they are waiting for the others to act beforehand. Sometimes they will be seen as superficial, and this is the mechanism. And so when I am listening to the other person, I will adapt to him or her. Some signs are very living signs currently, and now we'll talk about Cancer. Cancer is a sign of water, deep water, home, the power of emotion. Cancer are really sensitive, feeling everything. So you don't need to explain everything to them. If there is no emotional relationship created with the Cancer, he or she won't learn, because the learning basis for them is that they need to feel respected, loved for who they are. They have to live their emotions to say that they don't understand. So the Cancer will like to hold the hand of the teacher. And the teacher will say, okay, let's go together. And they will be very happy to hold the teacher's hand, because the adult will invite him or her to explore. And sometimes these children will be judged, saying that they are always afraid because they are crying for nothing. But these children are not babies. It's just that they are sensitive. This is a great strength, because when they are feeling things, they receive a lot of information, and they will understand beyond the words, thanks to the way the messages are conveyed. And often this vulnerability, this sensitivity is not welcomed, because a child who's Cancer will say, okay, I did that and it hurts. It hurts. And but the Cancer will say it, and then will think to something other, something different. And sometimes also they will close themselves, and when they close their heart, then they are lost. And I have met many people taking part to their meditation, to the emotions, because they are not able to cry anymore, because they were judged so many times that they can't do it anymore. I have a friend of mine whose Cancer told me that when she was at school, she was insecure, and the other told her that she was not capable to learn because she was too sensitive. Cancer needs an emotional relationship in order to learn. But for my friend, the teacher told us, you're really not smart. And today, she's 95, and when she goes on the internet, she's traumatized while she's learning. Well, she's a very creative person. She's managing many things, but she has been traumatized. And when I explain something, when we enter in an intellectual notion, something is into place, and it has a large impact on her. But when we are playing with emotions, it's difficult for them to learn. If someone is putting pressure on her, she won't learn, she won't understand. So as you can see, it's important to these small things are really important. The way teachers are teaching things to the different signs, to hold the hand of the different pupils. You can't say to a Cancer child, okay, you need to do that. You need to do that alone, or look at your friend who's a Aries. Then he will do it himself. You can't say that to a Cancer. So you can't hold the hand of a child who's Aries, but with a Gemini, with a Cancer, then you have to hold the hand of the child. And at a certain point, the Cancer will do his or her own things. I am talking about children, but we all have this deep into us. And what's happening with Cancers is that if they are judged as too sensitive, afterwards his radar will be lost, because that's thanks to this radar that he understands the world, and if the Cancer is judged too much, then he will lose his radar, and he will feel in doubt. He will try to find a structure. He will need a framework, a basis to rely on, while this will be a false security. And he will lose his trust. He will say to himself or herself that he won't be able to trust the company anymore and to develop. So does that ring a bell? Is it clear? Yes? Okay, shall we go on? And at the end, we'll have some time for questions and answer. And now the lion. For the lions, they are masters with the sun. These are people with a lot of light. It's as if there is a natural charisma. That's the fire, a light, a joy of life. Children who are saying yes, who agree, who have a natural trust, who are motivated. It's like the sun. But these children are aware that when they are coming, everyone are seeing them. And you will say, okay, yeah, well, I arrive in the classroom, everyone is looking at me, that's normal. But no, it's not always the case. A Taurus will enter the classroom and will be more discreet, but the lion will enter and he will know that the 20 people in the classroom are staring at him. It's not that they are still continuing to do the things they were doing. No, they are staring at the lion. The lions know that they are looked at and they can't hide. A lion can't hide because we are seeing them as we see the sun. And it's like when your house is not clean, if you switch on the lights, then it's clear. You see that it's not clean. For the lions, it's the same. Children who are lions are seen. So if they are angry, if they have an opinion, it is clear, and so their emotions are intense. But they need to be reassured to know that they are at the right place at the right moment, and that there isn't any problem, because children are creators. So the child will come at school, will arrive at school, he will have one red sock, one yellow sock with a backpack, and a book, but he will have something different, like a haircut, a special haircut, or something different. And the other children will say, okay, yeah, you try to look different. Are you trying to be seen? This kind of remarks can be heard, but lions are special, are authentic, are
ben, il va mettre du rose avec du bleu.
Authentic, and they're going to wear pink with blue, and the others will have sneakers, and he won't put any sneakers. It's not that he doesn't want to put on sneakers, but it's his way of being. And so he won't understand why people will say, oh, you want to be special, you want to be seen, you want to be unique. And he will be confused. And he will lose his originality. Instead of saying, okay, you have your sneakers, he has other shoes, but that's great. You made a draw, the other one another one, and that's cool, that's diverse, we all are different. Sometimes it's difficult to say to the people, do what you want, but sometimes it's difficult to stay original. Sometimes it's easier to have a line to follow instead of being able to do what you want. And for the lions, they don't really know when they can be themselves or not. And that's when neurosis comes into play, because lions will try to follow the other ones, and he will become a clone. He will play a role in order to be accepted, because when he was himself, he was not accepted, because he was not as the others. So he will lose his originality, and he will be as the other ones, because lions are shy and are vulnerable, because they are seen. For instance, if I sing a song and I sing it as I want, people told me, no, that's not the right way to sing it. And no, I will say this, I will sing the song as the others do, and I will lose my originality. And this is sad. It's very sad. Some people just want to be as they are and accepted as they are. Because they don't want to play another role. They want to be loved for who they are. And they are asking themselves, will people love me if they see me as I am? If I have something original, I have another haircut, or if I speak in a certain way. And it will be very important to support their originality and to love them as they are. Otherwise, they don't know who they are anymore. And if they don't know who they are anymore, then they will fall into criminality, for instance. And they will meet other groups and they will be involved in different stories. They will try to reach some Aquarius. They will play roles, but the problem is that they don't know what is right for them anymore. So it's all about going out and celebrating, and if the lions don't have their identity anymore, that's what they will do, because they will fear not to be loved for who they are. And on the other side, when everything is working, lions will be creators. They will play all the roles, and they will be everything. They will be able to adapt to everything, because they won't see any problem to be serious, to smile, to be on the ground, to be a businesswoman. So they have a huge freedom to have different dimensions. And so now we'll touch upon Virgo. So Virgo, we are speaking about the earth with a lot of conditions, a lot of experience, and Virgo will need to know why we are doing things. It's not enough to say, okay, today let's open your book and we are doing that. And the Virgo will ask, why are we doing that? And the teacher will say, don't ask question, I am the teacher, so let's do what I say. But Virgo are not there to take on things. They are there to understand what is right, what is useful. What is useful for me here to do, to live, and so they don't have problems to take actions. They are not rebels, but they will need to understand. Understand is not only, okay, let's sit on the camel, don't say anything, and let's go. But she will ask, why are we stopping here? And then you'll have to explain, because your camel needs to take some water, and maybe I will take some water also because I'm thirsty. And Virgo will be very creative. Maybe they will say, okay, can I give some water to the camel? But if we say, it's not none of your business, then it won't work. They need creativity in order to serve the situation. I hope I am clear, because this is important. So Virgo are there to be on the to be helping the teacher, to help what life is proposing, but they need to understand the reason why. They need to know if this is useful, if this is right to live this at this moment, because they are trying to remove all the things that they have learned, things that are repeated but that are not useful anymore, in order to focus on the essential things. It's like being in a space in which you write things once and not twice, but they will always ask, why should we do that? But an awful answer would be just do it without asking. You shouldn't answer that, because the Virgo will become Miss Perfect. Miss Perfect, who's doing everything very well and who will follow the rules with such a rigidity, because that's how she has been raised. And if she asks a question, it's in order to have a reflection, a discussion with the teacher. I remember I was a horticulturist, and I was focused on ecology. I was oriented towards natural health, and my teacher, so we were doing floriculture. So I took some flowers in order to give to my mother. So we were planting bulbs in order for the flowers to be ready for the celebration of mothers. And I didn't understand why we needed to do that. And so I asked, why are we doing that? And my boss told me, just do that. That's the way we are doing. And I said, no, but maybe we should do the things in another way. Maybe we could take a small flower in order, instead of having large flowers. And I was the only one who dared to explain, and who refused to pollute the earth in order to have larger flowers. And so I didn't agree, and hopefully my teacher was against answering and didn't answer. Instead of saying, okay, yes, it could be interesting, what would you propose, or what are you thinking about? And here the answer of the teacher was, just do that, don't ask a question, we are doing that and we won't change. And I am taking an example when I was 17. So asking why can seem very tiring for parents and teachers, because Virgo are always asking why, but they are asking that in order to find the reason, in order to find the best way to do things. They are asking why in order to find the best way to answer the requests. And they will find the way with all the tools, all the references. So Virgo is about asking questions and keeping all what is essential, letting go all the other things. And it's the same for health. When you force people to eat, well, Virgo are very sensitive to eating. I know many people who are Virgo who have been bulimic because they can't stop. Because when they say no to their mommy because they were feeling they had enough, they were told you have to finish your plate or you finish this because that's the only thing you will eat. And so they knew that they didn't like it, but they had to eat it anyway. And so afterwards, the radar, in order to find the limits, doesn't function anymore. And so they can eat everything, or they can do strict diets because they don't really find the balance, the right balance between what is good for me and when should I stop. So it's about anorexia and bulimia, not knowing what to eat, and they have to understand to eat in conscience, but it's a really interesting thing to understand because they have to learn and to recognize each ingredient. And I will give you an example. Virgo needs to take time to eat and to know what they want and what they don't want. They need to find back a balance. It's not only about nutrition, it's about finding limits, finding the reason. Otherwise, we will answer saying, no, it's not good. And when you say it's not good to a Virgo, they will become Miss Perfect. When they are told, you need to clean like that, you need to study like that, they will become Miss Perfect. Do you hear the nuance I want to point out? Yeah, okay.
Great.
Ok, on arrive à la balance.
So we're coming to Libra. Libra, here we're coming in a totally different world. All the energies before were in the exploration of whom you are. With Libra, we really start to explore the relationship with the other. So Libra being able to love doing, to do everything, sharing everything with your friend, with your girlfriend. Once they want to learn everything, they want to do all their homework with my friend, with the other one, and making a lot of fun with my body. And then you find a lot of things. She's doing it like this, I do it like that. It's really great. But of course, sometimes there's no joy and there's no momentum of being creative. Because the learning is done in the dynamism of a relation. Then you, then me, we should be the same. It's not like Gemini. We're going to cut our hair the same way. No, Libra will be more, oh, we're going together. I'm bringing this, you're bringing that. So this is, there we have the complementarity. So this the richness in the difference. Also, Libra would like, and here I'm thinking of the driver. It will be important that the driver will want to be good-looking, the beauty of the place where I am, the way I am. This is very precious for Libra. The way people look at you, this all the ethics, all the style, the body, everything has to be really correct. Why might I ask Libra, why do you want to be like this? A little bit jewelry here and there. No, they just want to offer their beauty. They have to. They want to take care. They want everything around her or around him to be beautiful and to offer it in different ways. The way also he or she expresses him or herself. It's also very sensitive. If it cannot be welcomed, she will, and she is very sensitive. She's paying attention to what people think of them, also listening the difference. But when she's being judged, they become very sensitive of what people are thinking of her. Am I okay? That's a question they ask themselves quite often. Yes, but can I do this? Am I entitled to do this? Would you be hurt if I do this? This is done continuously asking for the permission to do something. It's because they're afraid of being judged. So you're not entitled to do this, it's not done. So they're continuously asking questions, of course. So that's about it, more or less. Every child needs to be welcomed. In its beauty, you will have to welcome him in the way it expresses himself and be loved the way he or she is. And then we can come to Scorpio. The Scorpio, the antennae are opened to a maximum. And here we come to with an energy where I have no protection in the beginning. It's the psyche, the antenna are opened up. We feel everything, absolutely everything. Everything which is hidden, they see it. There's no separation within a Scorpio of what is living at the neighbors, within the teacher, or within her. So it's very important for Scorpio to be channeled, to learn, no, it's not you. Very often it will be a vector in a group in the classroom that the Scorpio child will channel the energy it will bring up all of a sudden, because it's something she lives, she doesn't know whether it's herself or the other person. So these are people with a lot of empathy, and they have this sensitivity that can really hurt them because they're afraid of, and they are being judged a lot, and they might find themselves in an emotional state which they can't handle, because it's not up to them to handle it, and you need the capacity to do so, and they have no one in front of them who can help them. So it's the teacher, the parents, but she will absorb how the teacher is, and then very often the teacher doesn't want anyone kind of a mirror effect. So it's a great strength when the Scorpio in their perception, so also they have a lot of sufferings because it's not always easy to be recognized. So a Scorpio, what I see a lot, so what I see a lot with the people I accompany is in general, well, Scorpio will have a tendency of not trusting the others. So the Scorpio, so the Scorpio will be, okay, do not touch me. So when I meet the world, it's when the other one could also represent a danger. And because is making me do things which I cannot control, and I'm being judged also. So before being judged, I'm going to judge myself and to see whether I'm capable of doing something, and I'm a little bit hesitant. So a little bit standing back. So they don't feel entirely safe because there's always someone telling them there's something that's going to hurt me, because it's like a snake that is changing the skin. It's very so from a psychological point of view, that perception. These are great qualities, but I hope that these children will be able. I hope they will be. We will be able to honor them in the future education, so they can learn, because they have the wisdom, intrinsic wisdom. But very often they feel criticized, and it really fear takes the upper hand. So they're never good enough, they're never capable of doing something, they're never okay, then turned into themselves, and they take up what is happening in the clan. They feel responsible for what is happening. And so you need an adult to explain, take care of Scorpio, that the child doesn't need to load upon his shoulders what is happening in the class. But the Scorpio has this capacity, but he's there to transform everything. Is transforming as a, and he would like, and helps him to create new energy. But you have to recognize the children being able to do this. So there are a lot of Scorpios who's are going to cry a lot when no one is watching them, when they're alone in their bed. And during the day, they're going to show that they're strong, and going through the class with all the different people they meet. It's like a sponge, so to speak, but not necessarily easy. And once they're being recognized, that these are people of great wisdom, and it's a wisdom, as we mentioned earlier on during the other conference. So when the parents are being faced to the child, and when the parent hasn't sufficient trust to tell them, yeah, you're right, absolutely right, just pretending, and the parent will tell his child, no, you cannot talk to me, it's wrong what you're saying. But the Scorpio is going to go berserk, because the child knows that the parent was wrong. The authority tells them it's false what you perceive, it's not true what you see. Mama, your mother isn't like it. Isn't like that. So this kind of distortion. And that can be to neurosis. Because with my radar, which are very, very fine, I can no longer trust. So everything I perceive, I'm analyzing this, I'm interpreting this. So it can become very mental, and that's why neuroses appear. Instead of having children, thank you, you told me you were right. As a parent, you ought to be capable of saying, okay, you were right. Even with a colleague, yes, you're right. I wasn't totally, I was wrong. Thank you to help me. Thank you for helping me to find this place. I learned. Then we're coming to Sagittarius, and here together with Gemini, we're meeting with people who are always, yes, they have the energy. They will never have enough. They want to go for it. They will more, and more. It's super. It's very dynamic. It's joyful. There are no problems. So there's no problem. And but at a certain time, there is no limit either. And for Sagittarius, they will need. You will need to say, okay, that's enough. You've done enough for today. You don't have a Sagittarius who will arrive and he's not going to give 4 pages. He's going to hand in 6 pages, for instance. But it doesn't take a long time to explain things to him and to give him the instructor. Sagittarius will say, okay, let's go. When do you stop talking that we can get going? And we're going to get going. Really, the action counts. They want to, instead of 5 kilometers, they're going to say, I did 6, I did 7. No, it's not because he wants to prove something. No, he has the necessary energy to do so. So it's a good thing. You can encourage him, but you also have to reassure him. So 20 kilometers, it's okay, perfect if you can do it. Super, you can do 7, but 5 is already very, very good. But they might have a limit, and you tell them that it's okay, then this child will feel much better. He is also going to turn up in class of geography or whatever. Is going to say, okay, the lesson, he will already come up with his globe. We will already have some idea. He will have done some research on plants, on the history, and then he's going to come up with the teacher. The teacher is going to tell him, what are you? He's really astonished. And the child saying, oh, I've got this project, this and that. But then the teacher says, no, go and sit down and listen. Oh, but you could also take it the other way. Say, okay, you took along your globe. Okay, tell me more about what you want to do, etc., etc. All this research, all this passion, even though, just look, I found where Canada is situated. Wow, that's great. You should kind of an encouragement, but not telling him, go and sit down and shut up. Now, do we encourage our children in this way? Do we? do we do this? No, because they might also say, no, don't bring along something, new instruments or whatever. We have everything here available in the school. No, but he says, yes, but I already prepared the boat. We could possibly do this, do that. That's the way Sagittarius is. And very often they might be first of the class. It's not because they want to be. It's not that they want to be the first of the class, but that's the way they are. And if they feel they're well channeled, guided, and they ought to be relaxed also. If not, they will feel that the other child can be better. So he will be never relaxed because he's afraid that the other will take his place. But if the child is encouraged, he says, yeah, but you're really superb, so you did this or that, then they will understand when he does a lot that he will be first. After all, but then he might have a neurosis because he won't be able to stop, because he will always go further and further because he wants to keep his place. So it's very important to tell him that it's not a matter of being first, but he is living through this. It's not his main goal, might be second or third, and but we're still in that particular system nowadays, unfortunately. And but we have to tell them, make them feel comfortable, reassure them that they can just be themselves. You still have 3 minutes left, Aashti. I thought I still had half an hour. So it's no, it's not 5 o'clock. It's already almost 6 o'clock. Only 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, the last three, I have to do Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Or you're not doing the last three of them. Perhaps one word. Capricorn, very serious, very mature people, a very huge maturity. They're going to do their utmost. Capricorn wants to do everything. But you have to avoid that it doesn't become a mountain. Capricorn wants to take care of all the children in the school, and very often is find totally isolated, and there's a lot of wisdom, intrinsic wisdom in this child, and sometimes he can be weak, but he also needs attention, and he can also cry, and then he says that, well, he doesn't know how to do something. But if not, he wants to do everything as it should be done, but there's no longer it will no longer be natural. Then the Aquarius is also a creator, inventor. He wants to participate, he wants to create the group, he wants to create a new school, and that's it. They want to cooperate, and when they come up with all their ideas, they tell them, what are you doing? But just the only thing they want to do is to participate. They want to be part and parcel of the group. They want to create the new humanity. They want to be in the front, and so they want to contribute. They want to bring in to make their contribution, but also you can encourage the Aquarius, encourage him, but once again, you have to encourage him. And then the Pisces, and Pisces, well, here, this is the last sign, a sign of unleashing. It's a lot of spontaneity, a growth capability, a lot of sensibility. And are we going to let him, or are we going to let him half an hour in contemplation? Do you have to force him to do something? Is it the moon in the Pisces? He will see an invisible world, but are you going to tell him it doesn't exist? Because a lot of people are going to tell me, well, when you connect in this space where there's nothing else, but if you connect when there's no longer a separation, then they say just it's in your dreams. But now, when you find this, I have a lot of people who tell me, I don't believe this is a dream. Is it really true? Can I really abandon myself in this? So that is the moon in Pisces that learns us how you can no longer have limits, how you can be in this unity. And I believe I have to stop here. We have to see all the subtleness and the marvel, see the beauty of the splendor, the beauty of the world. So we never tell them it's not true what you're telling me. You never tell that to a Pisces, because she saw it. It's already half an hour that she's been dancing with an ant, for instance. No, and she talked to me and she says, no, don't tell her the ant isn't talking. No, she just had a communication with the ant. So that's what the child will so also to become one also. So there's a lot of enthusiasm. So a lot of people now say, I now understand my husband, my mother, all my relatives. So it clarified a lot of things. So I have to, I have to also ensure the transition. So we would like to thank you. Thanks a lot. And I saw Sarah in her car. And thank you, Aashti. You were a source of inspiration. You can also get in touch with me, give me the return of information. So get in touch with me.